We hope that you all enjoyed your dinners this evening or are still enjoying your dinners. And if you are, please continue to do so. But please, how about a nice round of applause for the chef, Michael Klingensmith, and the floor manager, Krista Datro. Thanks, Christy. Great wait staff here at the River Mill. Is this not a beautiful facility here in Dover? And Kevin and Star Sullivan for the second year bringing this event back to Dover. Kevin and Star, thank you so much. Thank you for all you do for the city. And it's great to be back in Dover once again for the annual Chamber banquet. Somebody said, is it about time to start? And I thought I was at least a six-pack short of starting, but I guess we're about ready to do this. I was thinking a short time ago how incredible it is to be in Dover again this year. What a great year it has been. Last year was a great year for Dover, all the improvements. We have a parking garage. We've got a new police station in Dover. How about that parking garage? Parking garage is going to be so incredible on the 4th of July, that entire top floor, watching the fireworks at Henry Law Park from the top of that parking garage. It is going to be absolutely incredible. And of course, thanks to the Chamber staff for once again putting on this incredible event. Molly does, what an incredible young lady Molly is, and what a great job she has done over the years. Thanks, Molly. There is another very special guest in the room tonight that I would like to recognize this evening. Another one of the award recipients from the Chamber, the 2015 Educator of the Year. The Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce each year recognize an Educator of the Year, and Mary Buse is the 2015 Educator of the Year. Mary, if you could stand and please be recognized. She was honored in May. It was a big surprise at Horn Street School, so congratulations, Mary. Also would like to recognize and thank the Chamber's Recognition Task Force, who had a very challenging job this year of selecting the 2016 winners. It was a very competitive field of nominees, as it is every year. And when I call your name, if you could please stand and hold your applause until we get all of the names out. Delisle West, Human Resource Partners. Christine Sykes from iHeartMedia. Remember that part about holding your applause? You guys. Kelly Glennon of Federal Savings Bank. Dan Barafaldi, who is with the Dover Business and Industrial Development Association. And Doug Glennon of Glennon Consulting. If you could all just stand up together and everybody give a nice round of applause. And also would like to recognize the major award underwriters this evening. D.F. Richard, the sponsor of our Citizen of the Year Award. Fairpoint Communications, the sponsor of the Business of the Year Awards. Federal Savings Bank, the sponsor of the Volunteer of the Year Award. And the Federal Savings Bank Charitable Foundation, which sponsors the Nonprofit of the Year Award. And we'll be hearing from representatives of these distinguished companies later on this evening to honor the deserving 2016 recipients in just a short time. And let me just remind those award sponsors and presenters and those who will win awards this evening, if you would, after the awards are presented and you get your accolades, if you could follow Molly Hodgson, the executive director. We have the area in back where we will do the staged photos this year. Last year they were done up here. This year we're going to move things along, and after you get your award, if you could follow Molly to the area, sort of like the red carpet area, where the paparazzi will take all of the photos, and we will keep the program moving with the next award recipients. In addition to the beautiful New Hampshire-made clock that each award recipient is presented tonight, they also will be receiving letters of congratulation from Senator Jeanne Shaheen. So you get an added prize this evening. I had the opportunity to make my way around, talk to several people this evening just prior to dinner. I met a young man at a table over here who said, yes, I am going to be next year's Citizen of the Year. So whoever, the guy sitting at that table, next year we will be moving you down to you'll have a table closer to the stage next year. He's not even there right now. He has disappeared. He's at the bar, where all Citizens of the Year eventually end up, by the way, at the bar. Thank you so much. Dover has a great history. You know, Dover is going to be celebrating its 400th anniversary in just a very short time. When I first came and started working, it was 1973, and they were just celebrating their 350th anniversary. So sometime, I think, is it 2023? Is that correct, if my math is correct, that we'll be celebrating the 400th anniversary of the city of Dover. That is pretty cool stuff when you think of, you know, Declaration of Independence is what, just a kid, 280 some odd years old or whatever. But we have some great businesses that are still in Dover, businesses that have been here for a long time, and they have a great history in Dover. And I was thinking about that. And Federal Savings Bank, was it 125 years they celebrated this year? And I think there's a sign on alleys that says 100 years. This year, the Woodman Museum will be celebrating 100 years in the city. And in just a couple more years, the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce will be celebrating 100 years. And Phil Rinaldi. No, I'm sorry, wait. In just a couple of years, the chamber will be 100 years old, and Phil Rinaldi's grandfather was an original member of the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce. So that's what it was, okay. And that's a true story. Last year, we did the 95th anniversary of the Dover Chamber, and I looked at the list of some of the original members, and there was, I think it was G. Rinaldi, and Phil said, that was my grandfather. He was one of the first members of the Dover Chamber of Commerce when it was first founded, now almost 96 years ago. So, great history in Dover, great history of this organization. So let us begin, ladies and gentlemen, with our Volunteer of the Year Award. The Volunteer of the Year Award is sponsored and presented by Federal Savings Bank. It recognizes an individual that has gone the extra mile for the Greater Dover community through their volunteer efforts beyond the scope of their professional capacity. And with us tonight is Jim Brannon of Federal Savings Bank, who will present the 2016 Volunteer of the Year Award.
Thank you, Don. Everybody hear me okay? It is my honor to present the 2016 Volunteer of the Year Award to a very deserving individual, Tom Lavasser. Tom represents the finest ideals of community service. Many of us have heard him say in one form or another that he attributes his success to his practice of giving and sharing his time and resources with his community. He lives by the principle that when you share what you have, you become bigger in spirit and capacity. The more you give, the more open you are to the bounty and good fortune that people have to offer. Very true. This recognition is certainly our way of giving back to Tom for all he has done for our community. Tom serves on the board of directors of the Wentworth Douglas Hospital Foundation. He has chaired their Planned Giving Advisory Council and served as vice chair of the Advancement Committee. In addition to making major gifts to the foundation himself, he has been a tireless champion of their cause, serving on a small group that raised most of the $1 million needed to secure the bond for the hospital's new wing. Yeah, you bet. When he was awarded a Quality of Life grant from the $1 Million Roundtable, he directed it to the foundation to provide scholarships to Camp Meridian, a camp for children with heart disease. For the last 4 years, Tom has assisted Mike Steinberg with the Dover Community Thanksgiving Dinner, serving a hot meal to over 300 of Dover's neediest citizens. Healthcare and social causes are not the only areas that benefit from Tom's philanthropy and volunteerism. He has served the Cochico Arts Festival at all levels for the past 9 years. Tom didn't just chair the festival for the past 3 years, he showed up almost every Friday night throughout July and August and was the most energetic member of the audience at Dover's version of Woodstock, as he likes to refer to it. His enthusiasm and positive energy is contagious as he circulates among members of the audience, selling the festival buttons, which provides the necessary funds to bring over 40 musical, visual, and performing artists to Dover every summer. Prior to his career as a financial consultant, Tom was a long-time educator and football coach, and we all know how much additional personal time and effort work like that requires. Tom was nominated for this by fellow Chamber Ambassador Linda Nyland and supported by Dover business leaders Mike Steinberg and Rick Card. Mike said of Tom, when he says yes to a task, he'll get it done the right way and on time. Very true. Please join me in thanking Tom for all he does every day to enrich our community. Congratulations, Tom, on being named the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce 2016 Volunteer of the Year.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 24 font, so I don't have to use my glasses. So thank you, Jim Brennan, and thank you to Federal Savings Bank for sponsoring this award. How fitting it is that they are the ones sponsoring the Volunteer of the Year award. Jay O'Neill, Kelly Glennon, and Jim are amazing examples of, and Federal Savings Bank are amazing examples of what philanthropy and community involvement is all about. I want to thank Linda Nyland as well for nominating me. Linda is a supreme networker. She knows everybody, and she's the type of person who gets things done as well. Her volunteerism and commitment to our community is outstanding. I'd like to especially thank my partner in the Beacon Retirement Group, Jared Kelker. His devotion to our business makes it possible for me to spend the time volunteering at many of these activities. I'm so fortunate to have been the support of a loving and wonderful wife and family. My Nancy, wonderful children, Ryan and Enslin and Lindsay and Corey, who's on the West Coast, and 3 little granddaughters that they've given us. And my friend and brother, Tom Argue, and his wife, Nancy, who are here tonight. I'm grateful for the parochial education that my parents provided me with. The Ursuline Sisters and the Brothers of Christian Instruction laid a base of values for me that put me on a pathway to giving back long ago. 12 years of Catholic education, and I have the knuckles to prove it. My parish also had a Boy Scouts of America troop, and matriculating through the Eagle Scout rank also provided me with many opportunities for community service as a young man. Professionally, the $1 Million Roundtable Code of Ethics calls me to good stewardship and community service. Finally, I have been truly blessed to live and work in a community like Dover, New Hampshire, where the options to put volunteer efforts to work are so numerous. The Chamber, the Kachiko Arts Festival, the Healthcare Foundation at the hospital, the Dover Children's Home, and many, many more are all sources of inspiration and attract the volunteer efforts of so many of our citizens. Dover is like the perfect slot machine. Every time I put a quarter in, I get 3 back. The more you give in this community, the more you get back. It's addictive. The biggest problem I have is not where to put the effort, but how to find the time to do everything that I like to do. But I've come up with a formula, and I'd like to share it with you. It has 3 parts. The first is discipline. You know, I think about time the way I think about money. Now, if you spend money, you can either earn it back or you can invest it wisely and get it back. But when you spend your time, there's no way of getting that back. So the lesson here of discipline is prioritize, spend it wisely, and make an impact. Next, delegation. Spend some time discovering the activities and causes that you're passionate about. Activities that excite and energize you. Then focus on those things 80% of the time, delegating everything else. Jared would tell you that I'm delegating a lot more than that. But when you delegate, do so without micromanaging. Allow the other person to grow in stature and ability. I've done that to great effect with Jared, and it was a big part of my leadership of the Kachiko Arts Festival. And it spawned many new leaders like Kim Lindquist, Ricky Dumont, and Linda Nyland, to name a few. Lastly, intention. You must have a vision in your mind of the good works and the good things that you want to do. 20 years ago, I participated for several years in a coaching program for aspiring entrepreneurs in Toronto, Canada, called the Strategic Coach Program. One of the first things that they asked us to do, exercise they asked us to do, was something called the 10 times mind expander. We were asked to consider at what age we would die and then add 10 years at the end. I was in my mid-40s at the time. Next, we were directed to envision the kinds of things we'd be doing in those bonus years. I envisioned myself as a coach, philosopher, and philanthropist dedicated to the progress of others. The suggestion was then made to us, why are you waiting until the end of your life to be what you really want to be today? We were challenged to begin taking baby steps towards those visions in the present day. That was the great exercise. The wise man Jim Rohn once said, success is not something you can achieve. Success is something you attract and inspire by the person you become. So is this award, Volunteer of the Year, really about me, Tom Levasseur? I think not. This award is about inspiring others to take baby steps, to find the time and discover their passion, to organize their lives, and to volunteer, do good work, give back to their community, and attract success along the way. I'd like to close by reading a quote about giving back from an unlikely source. One of the 20th century's leading scientific intellectuals was Albert Einstein. And Einstein said, and I quote, "Strange is our situation upon earth. Each of us comes for a small visit, not knowing why, yet sometimes seeming to divine a purpose. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing that we do know, that man is here for the sake of other men. Above all, for those upon whose smile and well-being our own happiness depends, our families, our friends, our community. But also for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of empathy. Many times a day I realize how much my own inner and outer life is built upon the labors of my fellow man, both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received. Thank you for your indulgence, and thank you for this award you've bestowed upon me tonight. I am truly grateful. Okay.
Congratulations, Tom. People like Tom make Dover what it is, the great community. We now bring up the Nonprofit of the Year awards, and there are two. They are sponsored and presented by Federal Savings Bank Charitable Foundation. This recognizes nonprofit organizations that have demonstrated excellence in their field. The selection committee is pleased to honor two organizations, one small and one large, that do such great work in our community. With us tonight to present the first of the awards from Federal Savings Bank is Kelly Glennon. She will present the 2016 Small Nonprofit of the Year Award.
Thank you, Don. On behalf of everyone at Federal Savings Bank, it is an honor to present the 2016 Small Nonprofit of the Year Award to the Dover Triangle Club. The Triangle Club Meeting House and Center for 12-Step Recovery has been helping people stay sober and maintain various forms of recovery for 31 years. Established in 1984, its mission is to provide a welcoming, safe, and chemical-free environment committed to spiritual growth and recovery. They hold 41 meetings a week, more than 2,000 recovery meetings a year. Support groups include Alcoholics Anonymous, Nicotine Anonymous, Dual Recovery, Narcotics Anonymous, and most recently, Heroin Anonymous. People come to the Triangle Club for the first time when they are at their lowest point. They may have lost their job, home, family, health, and certainly their self-respect. Oftentimes, they are out of choices and have nowhere else to go. Once at the Triangle Club, however, they are welcomed into a safe environment and are met with understanding and open arms. The Triangle Club provides the hopeless with the opportunity to find a new way of life. The Triangle Club is a place where families are restored, relationships mended, and people can once again become valued members of society. Time and time again, volunteers of the Triangle Club see the light come back into the eyes of those they serve. Countless broken souls have returned to productive and accomplished lives thanks to the dedicated work of the Triangle Club. Addicts are not the only beneficiaries of their work. The Triangle Club is a critical component of the Greater Dover community's recovery efforts, supporting and augmenting services such as My Friend's Place, Bonfire, the Crisis Center, Southeastern New Hampshire Services, the Dover Police Department, and local hospitals, and also the Stratford County Drug Court. New Hampshire's devastating heroin epidemic has resulted in over 300 overdose deaths already this past year. I can't even say that, it brings tears to my eyes. According to Dover Police Chief Anthony Colarusso, the Triangle Club has been an invaluable asset in the city of Dover's efforts to fight addiction. Recently, as heroin and fentanyl overdoses have spiked, the Triangle Club has been on the forefront of battling abuse by hosting the first Heroin Anonymous meetings in the state of New Hampshire. The Triangle Club currently hosts 7 Heroin Anonymous meetings each week, and one meeting can see upwards of 75 participants. No other place in the state has done as much for Heroin Anonymous effort as the Triangle Club, and we all owe this entirely volunteer-run organization our deepest gratitude. You guys aren't helping my crying. Please join me in thanking the Triangle Club for the amazing work they do in our community, and help me in congratulating them as the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce 2016 Small Nonprofit of the Year.
Good evening. I'm Sandra Jalbert, and this is Mike Kimball. I have my little script here, and Kelly just said everything that I was going to say. So I guess I'll try and speak from the heart and say how proud I am that the Triangle Club is being recognized this evening. If you don't know about the Triangle Club, it's that little low-slung red building on Broadway. You know, we've been helping keep people sober for 31 years, since 1984. Yeah. You know, people don't really know about it, and I guess it's in a lot of ways, if you haven't had exposure to it, it's a good thing. But, you know, there's 41 meetings, recovery meetings a week. That translates into 2,000 a year. And 55,000 people, we estimate, based on the number of people that come in and out on a day, there are 55,000 people that come in and out of that place in 1 year. So there's thank you. So there's a tremendous amount of work being done. You know, people that show up that are broken and hopeless. I mean, people like you and me, you know, that have nowhere else to go, and it's just, you know, the work is being done. And we're very appreciative to get a little bit of exposure tonight, to have the Chamber of Commerce give us the opportunity to shine a spotlight on what we're doing. If you know of anybody, send them our way. We're always willing to have some new faces. And thank you again to Federal Savings Bank and C&J Bus Lines, who are helping support our major fundraising event every year, which is the Spirit of Recovery 5K road race. And with that, I'm going to turn over to my friend Mike, who's going to tell more about the club. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. I'm Mike Kimball, and I'd simply like to say that the Triangle Club is a place that helps repair lives, and I ended up there 20 years ago, and it wasn't my idea, you know? It was somebody else's idea. I got a nudge from a judge, and he sent me there. Through the years, I have watched people change, and I have watched families be reunited. I have watched, you know, just extraordinary growth as human beings. You know, I've watched the broken person come in and leave whole. You know, the ultimate goal is to be useful and contented. And the club, you know, functions like no other business here. We have no employees. We have no staff, nothing. But it works. You know, how does it work? Somebody unlocked in the morning for years and years. Somebody locked up at night for years and years. Somebody mopped the floor multiple times. You know, there's nothing going on there except people getting better. And I'm just amazed at this new wave of this addiction with heroin. On a Tuesday night, I can see 60, 65, 70 people sitting there on their own volition, getting better, fighting the demon, you know? I mean, heroin kills, not slowly, immediately. And these people are showing up and they're participating in their own life. They're reclaiming it. And it's an amazing thing. I just can't believe that a place like the Triangle Club has existed. You know, we're kind of anonymous, except when I make a mistake and open my mouth, you know. Recently happened. And I just want to thank everybody because, you know, we got something going there. Thank you. Okay.
You know, it's funny how life works. Mike Kimball and I go back probably, 50 some odd years. I was a high school kid working at Weeks. Anybody remember the old Weeks at the traffic circle? Weeks restaurant. Mike was one of the supervisors and I was one of the young kids slinging ice cream back then. Probably hadn't seen Mike in 45 years. We ran into each other last week at the post office. We spoke for a few minutes. Mike, congratulations. You are an inspiration. Thank you. Also, to present an award from Federal Savings Bank, our large nonprofit of the year, please welcome Tiffany Melanson.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to announce the 2016 Large Nonprofit of the Year. This year's honoree is Cochico Valley Humane Society. Every year, approximately 1,500 abandoned, neglected, or lost animals enter the doors of Cochico Valley Humane Society, CVHS. Many are in immediate need of medical care, while others simply need a warm bed and food. All of them arrive with the hope of finding their forever home, and the staff of CVHS responds with compassionate hearts and steadfast dedication. CVHS is a community-funded nonprofit dedicated to promoting the humane treatment of animals in Stratford County in southern Maine. The shelter's mission is to provide quality, compassionate care and shelter to the animals in partnership with educating the community concerning humane animal treatment and welfare. The organization promotes the practice of spaying and neutering, assists with cruelty investigations, and is an advocate for the safety, health, and well-being of animals. CVHS receives no state or federal funding and relies solely on the generous support of this business community, as well as adopting families. In addition to placing animals in caring homes, which CVHS is well known for, the organization also runs over 25 education programs at local schools and community organizations. They partner with health and human service organizations to allow people with physical or mental disabilities to read to the animals, helping comfort and provide a sense of purpose to those who struggle with mental or social challenges. The shelter's veterinarian of record and faculty at the University of New Hampshire's Animal Science program, Dr. Sarah Proctor, said in her letter of support, "Animals at CVHS are the healthiest I have seen amongst the Seacoast shelters, which is a testament to CVHS's commitment to following best practices throughout their work. UNH's partnership with CVHS provides students with a service learning opportunity, which is a critical component of their overall curriculum. This small animal shelter, operating out of a 100-year-old piggery, is positioned for growth, including a plan to build a new facility on the grounds of the Stratford County complex. Members of the organization's capital campaign have worked tirelessly over the past year to yield a commitment of nearly $1 million, and I sincerely hope that the recognition from this 2016 Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce Large Nonprofit of the Year Award will help Cocheco Valley Humane Society toward the rest of this goal. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tiffany. My name is Karen Zaramba, and I'm the outgoing board chair. Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you to the Chamber for really bringing together all of these wonderful individuals, business participants, community members, and other organizations, other nonprofit organizations that really come together to make Dover and the surrounding community so wonderful. We share a little bit of history with the Triangle Club in that we also were founded in 1984. And we're still in the same pig barn as we were in 1984. But the community support that all of you have provided in this room and beyond is really vital to the continued success of our organization. It enables us to serve the community by bringing animals and people together. As Tiffany alluded to, our employees and volunteers see firsthand every day that human-animal bond. And there's no denying that pets help people. When we see someone that comes into our organization that needs help from our food pantry, or we see a veteran that's connected with a service animal for the first time, we know that the animals are the tools that bring people together, and they're the tools that we use to help meet the needs of our community. As Tiffany also mentioned, we kicked off our Bring Us Home Capital campaign in 2015. And we're very excited to have received the support that we've had to date, and through as Tiffany mentioned, the end of December, we've raised a little over $1 million towards our goal of $2.5 million to break ground. So we're committed. 2016 is a year we're going to make this happen. So we want to thank all of you. And to that point, I also want to thank our outgoing board, executive director, Leslie Heindel, who couldn't be here with us tonight, but she has been very pivotal in transforming the CVHS over the last 3 years, and she was a key member of our capital campaign committee. So we deeply appreciate her dedication and support, and wish her well in her new endeavors. So thank you to her. But with change brings new possibilities, and we are very excited to welcome a very well-known member of our community, who most of you probably know very well, and that is Tracy Hayes. She's our new executive director, so I'd like to say welcome. We're very excited about the enthusiasm and vision that Tracy is bringing to CVHS. And as she helps shape and guide the next chapter of CVHS's history, we're very excited to see what the future holds for us. So I hope if you get the opportunity to chat with her tonight, you'll see that enthusiasm is very infectious. And with that, I really would like to thank everyone. This is an honor that we're deeply appreciative of. Everyone at CVHS, whether we're on the board or an employee or a volunteer, is truly humbled by this recognition, and we thank all of you. So thank you. So with that, I'd like to just turn it over to Tracy so she can share a little bit of her future vision for the organization.
So I had absolutely no idea what I was going to say tonight, and I said it all depended on how much I drank. So hopefully it wasn't too much. For those of you who do or don't know me, I am also a deputy sheriff with the Stratford County Sheriff's Office. So good luck. Luckily for all of you, I left my badge, gun, and especially my breathalyzer back at the office. So don't worry. No, on a more serious note, I'm excited. I'm ecstatic to be here. I think that we are in a transition period, not just to get into a new building, but to grow and expand a lot of our programs as well as create new ones. So while I had nothing to do with getting to the point where we actually are getting this award, I am happy to accept the clock and hang it in my office, and so I know when I should be going home instead of working late. But we you will see lots of new and exciting changes, and hopefully we will be partnering with a lot of organizations throughout Stratford County and beyond to make not only the new building happen, but to expand and reach a lot more animals and community members as well to change lives. So thank you.
I believe you said you're $1 million towards your $2.5 million goal. Come on, people, let's put them over the top tonight. What do you think? How many of you have ever adopted a dog or cat or whatever from Pacheco Valley? Great organization. And you know why they call them rescue dogs? Because they rescue us. Don't let anybody kid you. We're the ones that benefit from that great bonding between human and little human, fuzzy human. We consider our dogs to be our other children. Congratulations. This is the Small Business of the Year Award, and this year our selection committee chose to recognize a Small Business of the Year and Large Business of the Year. There are two. Both awards being sponsored by Fairpoint Communications. The Business of the Year awards recognize companies that have demonstrated leadership in the business community. They have made substantial contributions to the quality of life in the Greater Dover area, and they embody excellence, not only in their line of business, but also through their daily interactions within this community. And with us this evening to present our Small Business of the Year award is Earl Baumgartner from Fairpoint Communications. Earl?
Thank you, Don. It's my pleasure to present the 2016 Small Business of the Year Award to Seventh Settlement. Seventh Settlement Brewery is a community-supported farm-to-table brew pub. Their mission is to better the local economy and to collaborate with the community. They seek to do business with farmers, brewers, and culinarians who represent the best and brightest, sharing ideas and expertise. Their philosophy celebrates ideas, innovation, and partnership. Located in a previously underutilized mill space along the river, owner David Boynton set out to make use of local resources as part of his supply chain, like repurposed lumber for the bar and tables. Warren Daniel, Seacoast Regional Director of the New Hampshire Small Business Development Center and Seventh Settlement's nominator, had this to say: "When the doors opened in November 2013, business was overwhelming, precipitating a needed expansion of the kitchen and brewery in 2014. Dave was a quick learner and was always prepared to take whatever steps necessary to respond. The company immediately matured and improved operations. Dennis McCann, Executive Director of the Stratford Economic Development Corporation, echoed Warren's sentiments. Seventh Settlement has capitalized on every learning experience since they started and are now measuring performance on a weekly basis, giving them the ability to nimbly respond to obstacles and opportunities. Seventh Settlement hosts regular Sunday benefit days during which a portion of the proceeds go to a nonprofit. They have hosted several community gatherings in partnership with Dover Listens to discuss local economy and arts and cultural issues. They have hosted a governor and executive council meeting and created and presented the inaugural Seacoast Microbrew Festival this past summer, bringing Seacoast breweries, musicians, nonprofits, and thousands of attendees to Henry Law Park, highlighting the very best of Dover. Every Tuesday is Community Cash Day, where guests who pay with cash receive a 15% discount. Local musicians perform on Thursdays. Seventh Settlement is committed to educating the public on sustainability and the economic power of doing business locally. In its short time in business, Seventh Settlement has been recognized with many accolades, including the 2014 Blue Ribbon at the Seacoast Chowder Fest, the 2015 Great American Beer Festival American Style Brown Ale Gold Medal, and the 2015 Best New Restaurant in New Hampshire from New Hampshire Magazine. Seventh Settlement can now add the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce 2016 Small Business of the Year Award to that. Congratulations to Dave, Josh, and the rest of the Seventh Settlement team.
The beginning of that introduction was a good way to say we made a lot of mistakes in our first year.
Yes.
But we overcame. We wrote it down because we've been drinking beer.
It is truly amazing what has become of a simple homebrew kit that my wife Julie gave me for a Christmas present. Dave and I brewed a beer about 10 years ago, almost to this day, and it was destined to be our future. I labeled that beer Seventh Settlement First Batch Brown and knew that, by the way, it was pretty good. But I do say so myself. And I knew that someday that it would come to fruition. All along the way, we had to do some important things, like learn how to brew beer, which is pretty important, where longtime friend and coworker Nate Sefton stepped in.
So while they were learning how to brew beer, we also had to learn the intricacies of writing and implementing a business plan, but not just any business plan, an unprecedented at the time community-supported business model, and that was unique. So I had to go back to school and get my MBA at Antioch, New England. The debt was worth it, and that business model has helped to provide a future that we've seen that's more than our dreams.
All along the way, life has given us some amazing ups and some very dark downs. But all along the way, I saved the 7th bottle of the 7th Settlement First Batch Brown because I knew that we would someday be able to drink that very beer when we opened up our first licensed commercial brewery.
So that was fun. So we could not have made it up on this stage today without some dedication and commitment from some very key people. We have a lot of people that deserve thanks, including our 35 employees, all of our guests, our friends and our family. But we want to recognize those who have gone above and beyond for the 7th Settlement community. So first is Taylor, our executive chef. He continues to create an incredible menu and a team that does unimaginable things. He embraces the local movement, which is really important to us, by working with many regional farmers and fishermen. Actually, we were out on a boat yesterday catching scallops that were on the menu last night. And he really does their hard work justice by creating everything in our kitchen from scratch, right down to the white bread and the ketchup. It's amazing what they do. It's an incredible team. And then next is Kate, our events coordinator. And Kate is a relentless worker, a professional at what she does, and she's of course an avid beer fan and foodie. And she extends our reach of 7th Settlement into the community with business events and weddings at farms, which are incredible, and our food truck Juice Burger. Then there's Jeff. We've been friends since 5th grade. He's our bar manager, and he manages an incredible team of bartenders that not only love beer, that they love craft cocktails. I hope you'll enjoy those later at the bar. It's just a short walk from here after. But most importantly, they build with our serving team. They build those relationships with our Mug Club members and our guests, and those relationships really create that community, and it's awesome, John. So then there's Jason. Jason, our general manager, started just in September, and since then he's taken over our daily operations. I don't work as much anymore. It's awesome. But he continues to build our hardworking, fun, and professional staff culture, and it's fantastic. He's also an avid craft beer enthusiast. I think he worked about 6 months on a recipe for his first homebrew this past weekend, which is amazing. And then there's Matthew. He's taking pictures tonight. He's our marketing manager. He understands this mystical world of what we call the internet. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it connects people on this weird, strange world to the real things that we do at 7th Settlement, and it's those connections that really make us a community, and it's really awesome. They come to that pub, which was originally a public house, which is awesome. So that's what we create, is a community, and that's what we're really shooting for.
Dave has touched on what has made 7th Settlement run on the day-to-day. What we can't forget is 7th Settlement really runs on beer. And we could not create such a great atmosphere with award-winning beer like the GABF gold medal winning brown ale that we do without Nate Sefton. He is committed to quality and raises the bar for the craft brewing industry. And certainly, last but not least, we definitely cannot forget to thank our wives.
So, so Shelby and Julia, thank you. They have been ever forgiving and supportive through this crazy adventure of about 3 years now. In the beginning, there were many weeks that Josh and I worked over 200 hours just between the two of us. And that was many, many weeks. I lost 30 pounds. I looked great.
Yeah.
Even while drinking beer. But we couldn't have done it without them. So we apologize for not telling you until after we signed the lease. And we promise that someday it will get easier.
Yes. And thanks, of course, to our nominees, the committee, Molly especially, and the chamber being so supportive.
And Fairpoint.
And Fairpoint for sponsoring everything.
So congrats also to the other award recipients.
I brought this up for you. Cheers, everyone.
And don't buy beer from strangers.
Dave and Josh, again, congratulations. Now to present the Large Business of the Year Award is Lisa Leary, Vice President of Sales for Northern New England at Fairpoint Communications. Lisa?
Thank you, Earl, and congratulations. It is my distinct pleasure to recognize a large business obviously doing great work in the community based on the overwhelming number of letters of support the Chamber received from the area's nonprofit community in support of the 2016 Large Business of the Year iHeartMedia. iHeartMedia delivers music, news, talk, sports, and other content to diverse audiences across multiple platforms, including broadcast stations, online, iHeartRadio, and on its station's websites, HD digital radio channels, satellite, smartphones, iPads, and other tablets, in-vehicle entertainment and navigation systems, and via live events. Many of the causes, issues, projects, and events that we just mentioned in regard to Seventh Settlement receive valuable marketing and promotional support from iHeartMedia. All right. Their nominator, Jean Supple, said their positive outlook, "Of course we can help, never say no" attitude reflects the social consciousness of the company they represent. And it is in keeping with their mission of making it easy for artists, influencers, and brands to get heard and be loved. This is certainly true here in Dover. The following events are just a few that have benefited from thousands of dollars in promos, live mentions, and volunteer supports from iHeartMedia, helping their organizers fundraise for their respective causes. The Dover Children's Home Bowl-a-thon, Community Action Partners Lip Sync Competition, Wentworth Douglas Hospital Seacoast Cancer Walk, Seacoast Science Center Music by the Sea Concert Series, Veterans Count Radiothon, Greg and the Morning Buzz 25 Lend a Helping Hand. All right. And dozens of area 5K walks and runs. It is worth noting that while their annual support of these organizations and causes totals hundreds of thousands of dollars in in-kind marketing support, it also comes with some of the best human beings on the planet. The Dover Chamber has benefited greatly from the participation and active engagement of Christine Sykes and Sean Olston. All right. Christine brings a depth of experience, thoughtful insight, unparalleled energy, and a smile that goes on for days. Christine is not able to be here tonight, but I know her team is celebrating her success. All right. She hires well, too. As a member of Christine's sales team, Sean has been the two in an iHeartMedia's 1-2 punch. John Burns, chair of the Chamber's City Lights Committee, had this to say: Sean's energy level radiates throughout our ambassadors and Festival of Trees committees. He is creative, dedicated, and reliable. He is always willing to help out and step up to deliver on the committee's objectives. His attitude, determination, and buoyant quality sparks those around him towards great things. All right, Sean. Please join me in thanking and congratulating the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce 2016 Large Business of the Year, iHeartMedia.
Sean, you want the mic? No. Very difficult to be on a mic when you have all the talented people that are on the air every day on our radio station sitting over there. We'll do our best. I want to start by thanking Lisa and Fairpoint Communications for sponsoring this award, and certainly the Dover Chamber of Commerce. Jean Supple from Measured Progress for nominating us. Jane Bard, Jonathan Burns, Nicole Kerr, and Stuart Cole from the Seacoast Education Endowment for Dover. I was challenged whether I could say that or seed. I got it out. Thank you for supporting our nomination. You know, I looked up the mission for the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce, and it's a member-driven organization that provides value to its members, residents, and visitors by facilitating and sustaining growth of businesses, organizations, and events to promote a healthy, living community. Similarly, iHeartMedia is dedicated to inspiring and creating positive change that improves the lives of others. The company's community programs are built on the idea that through public awareness and education, we can drive attention and action that directly addresses today's most pressing issues. It's our mission to meet the needs of these communities we serve by listening closely and responding to local needs. Specifically here in New Hampshire, we've made it our mission to help support organizations that support children, families in need, addiction, and veterans. In 2015, we helped raise over $100,000 for pediatric cancer through various community walks, bike rides, and other fundraisers. The Greg in the Morning Buzz Linda Helping Can Radiothon raised $130,000 for 11 New Hampshire organizations, three of them here in Dover that provide food, shelter, and support to people in need. New Hampshire Today with Jack Heath had a Veterans Count Radiothon, the first time we did this. We raised $125,000 to provide critical, timely financial assistance and services when no other resources available to our service members and their families. Currently, we are very active in helping the business community in New Hampshire open recovery centers to support addiction, recovery, in communities across New Hampshire. And I'm going to go off script here because I'm listening to Mike and Sandra like I did at the press conference. I didn't share this then, I'm going to share it now only because folks, you've got to understand just how bad this problem is. I've lost two brothers to addiction. My son lost a friend. My son's a freshman in college. 6 months ago, he should be celebrating being at the University of Vermont, and he got a text about a friend of his who died because of addiction at her home. And this morning, getting ready for this meeting, some of you may have read about it in the newspaper, there's a gentleman from Bedford, a young kid, Southmore College at Brandeis University, died of addiction. You have got to take this serious. We can't hide addiction, okay? It is an illness. It's cancer. It's pneumonia. It's all those things. Government's not going to help us right now. It's the people in this room. We have got to get serious about this stuff. We have to. I'm going to commit again to the Triangle Club. Whatever we can do, we're going to get it done. I shared with you some of the things we're trying to do in Hope for Recovery. We need to do it over here too, and we'll figure out a way. It'll just be the start. We're not going to end it, but hopefully other people will listen to this message and get it. So thank you for what you do every day. I have to share with you that I came to New Hampshire 13 years ago from New York City and Connecticut, where I was working for iHeart, which was then Clear Channel Communications. But it was here in New Hampshire where I personally found the ability to start making a difference. To recognize that making family, friends, and our peers our priority would lead me, in this instance, to the conclusion that, you know what, since I came here, I haven't worked a day in my life since I came to New Hampshire because I really love what I do and who I do it with, and that doesn't make it a job. That's just a great thing that happens every day. I'm able to say that in large part because all the folks sitting over on those two tables right over there, you guys, you know how I feel about you. I love you. I love what you do every day. You know, we're missing someone tonight. And I really miss her because we're up here because of her. Christine Sykes is our Senior Vice President of Sales. Many of you know her, know how contagious her enthusiasm is. I heard someone mention her smile earlier. Her belief in teamwork
and her perseverance to always do the right thing. Christine can't be here tonight, but I want you all to know one thing. We are being honored tonight because of her leadership, her values, and her integrity. I also want to recognize a couple other people that have already been mentioned, but what we like to sometimes call the Dover Mafia. Jad Nomani, come on up here. Sean, come on up here. Jad is the program director of Z107. He has led that station to its best performance in years, and it's because of what he does every day on the station and in the community. He's out here all the time. If you're running an event in this area, you know Jad. And his passion for what he does is unbelievable, and I want to personally thank him for that. I hesitate to say supporting Jad, because they'll have a fight about it later, but Shawnee O. Olson, who has not worked a day in his life either, similar to me, since he joined us. Sean doesn't know how to say the word no. He doesn't believe in doing anything good. Excellent is his only outcome. And for that, we're very appreciative. And Sean, thank you for everything you do. I'm most fortunate to work with the best people in our business. I know that sounds like a cliche, but I challenge all the other media companies and, quite frankly, the other corporations in this room to prove me wrong. Go out and raise the funds for your community that iHeart has. Walk the Wentworth Douglas Seacoast Cancer Walk. Spend the day bowling with Jan and Sean at the Dover Children's Home Bowl-a-thon. Come answer phones with Greg at Linda Helping Cans Radiothon. Collect toys in the snow with Christine Sykes and Tim Moore at the Toys for Tot program. Join me in putting coat collection boxes and clearly cleaners around the state for the Coach for Kids program. Imagine if everybody just took a piece of that, what we'd be as a community today. I want to thank the Dover Chamber for honoring iHeartMedia tonight. Thank you for what your organization does every day. And again, I want to invite everyone here tonight to volunteer, either on your own or join us at any of our fundraising events, or call one of us to let us help you with your events. Thank you, and go Pats.
Congratulations to Seventh Settlement, and congratulations to all the fine folks at iHeartMedia for the Business of the Year's Award. Some of you may know I work for a different company, but it's not the company, it's the people that really are what makes a difference. In a previous life, I had this little radio talk show, and for a while there was a kerfuffle. The new manager came in and said, nah, we don't want him doing that anymore. One of the first messages of support that I received came from Greg Kretschmar. I still have that note that you sent me, Greg. Thank you so much. A couple of years ago, Greg was named the New Hampshire Broadcaster of the Year. I'm proud to have been one of the people that supported that nomination. Greg, congratulations on that, and thanks for all that you do. Now you got to talk to your brother about sending out press releases on a timely fashion. Will you do that? I had some words with him this morning. We come to our final award of the evening, the Pièce de Résistance, our Citizen of the Year Award. Now, I have to tell you, this is a bittersweet moment for me. I have to give up my tiara. And Dave, yes, they do expect you to wear it in public. I may not have said this before, but to the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for what has been an incredible year. And it comes with a free parking space. It's in the Holy Rosary Credit Union lot after 5 weekdays. So. Ron Cole said, you know, this is it. This is the end of your year. How do you feel? And I said, like Miss Columbia. It seemed like it was just a moment ago, and here we are. But last January, I mentioned the names of the people who had won this award in the past, people, many of you who are in this room tonight, the people who I said at the time that I believed were the fabric of our community and have made Dover the incredible community that it is today. And tonight we're honoring a man with this vision and foresight and investment in our community that is bringing Dover into not only today, but tomorrow and decades to come, and that's an incredible thing. Our Citizen of the Year Award, presented by D.F. Richard, recognizes D.F. Richard. This award recognizes an individual who has made major contributions of time, energy, progress, and betterment to the Dover community. And with us this evening to present our 2016 Citizen of the Year Award representing D.F. Richard is Roland LaPointe.
Thank you, Don. I'm very pleased to be here today for this special announcement. The Citizen of the Year Award is a very special honor, not just for the recipient, but also for the community at large. Tonight, I have the privilege of presenting the 2016 Citizen of the Year Award to Mr. David Bamford. For decades, Dave has dedicated himself to making Dover a better place to live. Because he is a skilled business person who cares about improving the world in which he lives, Dave could have turned his considerable talents to any number of causes, but instead focused his attention on lifting Dover up through a variety of projects and pursuits. Dave's early investment in the renaissance of Dover's downtown came before municipal planners understood just how critical a community's downtown character, quality, and vibrancy were to a healthy and thriving community. The renovation of his own properties on Central Avenue sparked a movement that led the vibrant Dover we enjoy today, which continues to attract new residents to the Garrison City. The considerable amount of work, both visible and behind the scenes, Dave pursued to forward the quality and scope of Dover's educational opportunities is inspiring. While I'm certain I don't know the full extent of it, I am aware of Dave's efforts to establish SEED, the Seacoast Education Endowment for Dover, a nonprofit organization that exists to fund excellence and innovation in Dover's public schools. Dave was also instrumental in helping to establish Dover's Kachiko Arts and Technology Academy, CATA, Dover's first charter school, and to leading a fundraising campaign to purchase the historical Gundalo for Henry Law Park, which will teach school children, residents, and visitors about Dover's unique trade and maritime history. Parent, educator, CATA board member, and citizen of Dover, Rachel Williams said of Dave, "I am so honored to express my gratitude that Dover has someone like Dave Bamford, so hard at work creating the community of our dreams." When Rachel first met Dave in 2008, as he mentored her daughter in her own volunteer work, she was immediately struck by his vision and passion for Dover and his dedication to nurturing Dover's next generation of informed, active citizens. Dave brought his expertise, enthusiasm, and profound dedication to his work with CATA. He gave countless hours working through thorny issues of policy and was indispensable in the search for and negotiation process of obtaining our physical space in Dover. Stuart Call, founding principal of Measured Progress, wrote, "Whether it is hosting receptions at his home for fundraising or raising awareness of issues or speaking at city council meetings, Dave has always been ready and willing to devote himself and rally others to causes that have helped Dover earn recognition as one of the best communities to live and raise children." Dave's current development of Riparia at 100 First Street, a highly desirable apartment community in the heart of downtown Dover, is a current example of the faith and belief he holds for the future of Dover. Just as Dave helped to move Dover forward in the 1980s and 1990s with the renovation of downtown retail and residential properties, he is now helping our community move forward once again by creating sophisticated housing that will attract and educate an educated workforce that will in turn create more employment and more civic and creative opportunities for Dover. Perhaps what's most impressive is that through all this, Dave has remained a humbled person who is quick to express gratitude and appreciation for all that he has, along with the determination to give back. Dover resident Sean Fitzgerald wrote, "There's no better ambassador for the city of Dover than Dave Bamford. He has worked tirelessly to brand Dover as the education city. Through his work with the Economic Development Director, as well as raising awareness of education funding, and to help seek out and support qualified members for the school board, and he is considered truly Mr. Dover." Beverly Shadley, Dover resident and consulting advisor for SEED, wrote, "A few years ago, Dave and I had just finished meeting with a potential SEED sponsor when I noticed a slight indent on his cheek, which I recognized to be from oxygen tubing. Dave shared that he had had some breathing issues, possibly related to the time he served in Vietnam and from the exposure to dangerous chemicals used in warfare. Dave immediately followed up by saying how excellent his life was and how grateful he was for the many opportunities he'd been given. He made a point to say that nobody owes him anything, and he reiterated the good fortune of his life. Bev went on to say, "To me, Dave embodies the spirit of the Citizen of the Year award due to his positive can-do attitude, humility, respect for, and belief in community members, along with the very long track record of working to make Dover a better place to play, work, and live." Please join me in thanking and congratulating Dover's 2016 Citizen of the Year, Mr. David Bamford.
Thank you very much. Roland, thank you for those kind words. And good evening to each of you. I think this is the first time I've ever received a standing ovation. No, actually, there'd been one other. I remember when I was doing a closing argument for this jury in Stratford County, when all of a sudden, what's that? You can't hear me? Now can you hear me? Okay. Oh, good. Thank you very much. Most of the time, people tell me to turn down the mic. So, I was giving my closing argument to this jury in Stratford County Superior Court when the judge, in the middle of the closing arguments, the judge stood up and started clapping. The jury immediately followed suit, got up and started clapping. I figured, whoa, I got these guys. Until the judge stopped clapping and says, Dave, you're boring us to death. Please sit down and shut up. That was actually the high point of that day. Later on, the jury started taking their shoes off and throwing them at me. I thought I was George Bush, you know. I have a bad back tonight, so I'm going to make this short. Actually, if I had a good back tonight, I had about a 4.5-hour speech, and I had you getting out of here by about 6:45 tomorrow morning. To say the very least, this has been an incredible honor. I couldn't believe when Molly called me, good thing I was sitting on my bed, and she said, Dave, you've been recognized as the Citizen of the Year. I was dumbfounded, and immediately I'm thinking, why me? I knew immediately 5 people jumped in my head. Some of them that were actually named who wrote these letters, like Stewie Call and Sean and Beverly and Rachel. These people, I always look up to them. I realized why I got it. Jack Buckley, who had nominated me, called me and told me there were 12 people who were in the running. And he said, Dave, you came in dead last. He says, but I got some good news. He said, the first 11 have been indicted and they're spending time now in the slammer. He said, you know, Dave, they had to give it to somebody. Molly, thank you for you and your staff. What a great team. And I want to recognize all the people who received awards tonight. You guys make it better for us to live in Dover. I wish to thank the selection committee for granting me this award. How can I say thank you? I hope I don't sully this award, its reputation, in any way. I wanted to mention a special friend of mine tonight. Junaid Khan is here. Junaid I hope I can learn to walk my walk half as well as this young man. I'm a forever Christian. Junaid is a practicing Muslim. He is a special young man, but he's a special man for any generation. He comes from the same village, and he knows Malala. Malala, you may remember, was a young lady who now has written a bestseller. And Junaid knew her. She is the person that she looked down the Taliban. The guy said, if you're not going to do what we say, I'm going to shoot you. Malala said, go ahead. The guy did. He shot her in the face, and she's had to have reconstruction surgery. She survived. Until he told me that it was the same village that he had lived in Pakistan with her. I never knew anybody like Junaid. Now I know his friend Malala. She reminds me so much of him. Junaid, can you stand up? Tonight I want to honor my wife, Debbie. Debbie is the one who gives us all so much love and so much support. Even when the times are tough, she is the glue that keeps this family together. Debbie, thank you so much. I don't want to brag, but we have great kids. We have great spouses of our kids. And we have great significant others of our kids. And by the way, we have fabulous grandchildren. I don't want to brag, but I think I'm going to. I'm happy to brag. If they had talked about, you might want to mention your mentor. That's easy for me. If you had asked my brother Paul and my brother Steve and I to go to one room, and if you posed one question to the three of us, who is the greatest guy you ever knew? We would all answer in concert with one word: Dad. My father is such a man that I can never be the man that Dad was. What I respected most about Dad was he didn't count the clothes on your back, nor the vehicle you drove. He based his friends, and he had a collection of fabulous friends, and they were based upon the content of their character. A person's station meant almost nothing to my father. When I did something wrong, Dad would sit me down and remind me that I alone was the custodian of my conscience and the custodian of my soul. He would ask me, Dave, what are you going to do with your custodial rights? The events might differ, but the challenge remained the same. What kind of a man do you want to be? He would say. So often I have failed to meet Dad's challenge. I am still not there, not even close. Even though Dad died 35 years ago last month, I hear his voice every day. I can't escape it, nor do I want to. My father loved the concept of education. Dad was always rooting for the little guy. He would tell me, Dave, education is a great equalizer for people in life. Dad believed that the downtown may be the face of a city, but the heart of the city resides within its classrooms. This is why I love my city, Dover, the education city. No other city in the state provides the breadth of educational opportunities and programs that we do in this community. Without mentioning the Children's Museum or the Woodman Institute, I want to tell you that families from 82 different communities send their kids to Dover to be educated. They may be at our Christian schools or our parochial schools, at CATR, which is our charter school, or our public schools. I am impressed by our educators, them all. But they are asked to do too much with little pay and with shallow thanks. And so I say, good night, Dad. I haven't always risen to the challenge. Thanks for always being there for me. And good night to you all, and may God speed. Thank you very much.
We talk about deserving individuals. I can think of no one more deserving of this award than Dave Bamford. Congratulations, David.